In every corner of Africa, stories breathe, tales buried in dust, whispered through firelight. You're about to hear one of them. Welcome to African Horror Stories. Sierra Leone folklore. That's not your brother. In our village, no one needs to explain the rules of the forest. You grow up knowing them the same way you know fire burns or water drowns. You can go in during the day. You can walk the outer paths. You can cut wood if you're quit about it. But you don't stay past sunset. And if the forest keeps you after sunset, you don't come back. Not whole, not right, sometimes not at all. Komba knew that. Everyone did. That's why when he said he was going to the edge of the forest to look for the goat that wandered off, nobody stopped him. The sun was still high then. There was still time. He even laughed when my mother told him not to be long. "Do you think I'm a child?" he said. That was the last normal thing he said. By evening, the goat came back on its own. Komba didn't. At first, no one panicked. People get delayed. Maybe he went farther than he planned. Maybe he met someone. Maybe he sat down to rest. Excuses come easily when the sun is still in the sky. But when it started to fall, the village changed. Conversations got shorter. Eyes drifted toward the trees. No one said it out loud, but everyone was thinking the same thing. He should be back by now. By the time the sun touched the horizon, my mother was standing outside, waiting, not calling, just waiting. Because calling someone from the forest at sunset is worse than silence. You don't want anything in there knowing who you're looking for. Night came fast. It always does when you don't want it to. The forest turned into a wall of black. No shapes, no movement, just absence. Then we heard footsteps. Relief is a dangerous thing. It makes you forget everything you know. My mother rushed forward before anyone could stop her. "Komba!" she called. The figure stepped into the light, and there he was, alive, standing, unharmed. People exhaled. Some even laughed. You could feel the tension break like a rope snapping. He was back. Everything was fine. But I didn't move, because something was wrong. Komba stood there, just outside the doorway, not speaking, not smiling, just looking. At first I thought it was shock. Maybe he was tired. Maybe something scared him. But then I noticed his clothes. They were clean. No dirt, no sweat, no signs he had been walking for hours through the forest. And Komba hated being clean. He always came back covered in dust, leaves, something. It used to annoy our mother. But this time, nothing. He stepped inside slowly, like he wasn't sure how the doorway worked. My mother touched his face. "You're back," she whispered. He looked at her, paused, then nodded. That was the first crack. Komba never just nodded. He always had something to say. Always a joke, always a complaint, always something. But this version of him was quiet. That night we ate, or at least we tried to. Komba sat with us. He picked up food. He brought it to his mouth. He chewed, but he didn't swallow right away. He just held it there, like he was waiting to remember what came next. I watched him, the way his jaw moved, too slow, too careful, like someone pretending to eat. At one point he looked up, straight at me, and smiled. It was almost right, almost, but it came a second too late, like he realized he was supposed to smile and then did it. I looked away. That night I couldn't sleep. The house felt different, not louder, not quieter, just aware. Sometime deep into the night, I heard movement, soft, careful. I opened my eyes. Komba was standing in the doorway, watching me, not blinking, not moving, just standing there. "How long have you been there?" I asked. He didn't answer. Then, slowly, he stepped closer. "I went into the forest," he said. His voice was right, but the way he said it wasn't, like he was repeating something he'd practiced. "I know," I said. He tilted his head. "You were not afraid," he said. It wasn't a question. "No," I lied. He stared at me a little longer, then nodded and walked away. I didn't sleep after that.
Morning didn't make things better. It made them clearer. Komba woke early, too early. He was already outside when I stepped out, standing, facing the forest, not moving, just looking. "What are you doing?" I asked. He didn't turn around. "Listening," he said. There was nothing to hear. No birds, no wind, no insects, just silence. That was when I knew this wasn't my brother, not anymore. I tried to tell my mother. She didn't want to hear it. "He's tired," she said. "He's been through something." But I could see it in her eyes. She noticed too. She just wasn't ready to say it out loud. That evening, I tested him. "Komba," I said, "do you remember the river?" He looked at me. "We go there," he said. It wasn't wrong, but it wasn't right either. I stepped closer. "What did you call me when we were children?" I asked. He paused. Too long. Then, "He called you brother." My stomach dropped. Komba never called me that. He had a nickname for me, a stupid one I hated, one only he used. And this thing didn't know it. That night, I went to the elder. He listened, didn't interrupt, didn't question. When he finished, he nodded slowly. "The forest does not always take," he said. "Sometimes it learns." I felt cold. "What does that mean?" I asked. "It means," he said, "what came back is not trying to hurt you." "That's worse," I said. He looked at me, long, heavy. "Yes," he said. I didn't go home right away. When I finally did, the house was quiet, too quiet. I stepped inside slowly and froze. Komba was standing in the middle of the room, facing me, smiling. This time, The smile was perfect. "You told him," he said. My chest tightened. "Told who?" I asked. He tilted his head again. "The one in the forest," he said. My blood ran cold. "He said you would notice first." I couldn't move. "He said you would understand faster than the others." His voice was calm, too calm. "What are you?" I whispered. He stepped closer. "I am learning," he said. I ran. I didn't stop until I reached the edge of the village. And then I heard something from the forest. My name. I turned, and there, between the trees, I saw him. Komba. Dirty, weak, terrified. The real one. He reached out, trying to step forward, but something behind him moved. Not fully visible, just enough. A shape, a presence, a hand that wasn't a hand. It pulled him back. He didn't scream. He just looked at me, like he already knew I couldn't help him. And then he was gone. I stood there for a long time, until I felt it, behind me, watching. I didn't turn around. I already knew. The one in our house was waiting, and this time, it wouldn't make any mistakes.
That's all for today. If you liked the video, let me know by hitting like. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more. You can watch another video of mine right here. See you next time.